Okay, so I just recently learned that this game had come back for a third time. Okay, if you don't know what this game is Defiance. Back in, I want to say like 2013, give or take, it died like the first or second time, and the first time, then it came back as like Defiance 2050, and then it died again, and then it came back again, and this is like the third, fourth time this game has come back to life, right? Defiance, the first Defiance game, was made by the Sci-Fi Channel, right? Up until this point, Sci-Fi had done this unique thing of their on-label shows intertwining, like Eureka and Warehouse 13. Those were the big two for Sci-Fi, and they had crossover events and stuff back in the mid-2000s, long before Marvel did some such like that. And they ultimately ended Eureka. Naturally, that was fine, that was good. Warehouse 13, though, they rushed quite a bit to get to the end of, so that they could create a show known as Defiance. Yes, this game literally tied into a television show that was running weekly on the Sci-Fi Channel, where your character here would interact with characters from the show, and characters from the show would interact with characters from the game, and it would all weave together in a narrative that would progress through different episodes of the game and the show. Issue with that is newer players coming in would be overwhelmed with the amount of stuff to do, so to speak. So let's just get into if Defiance being brought back for the umpteenth time is a good thing or a bad thing here, right? I played this game at a weird point in my life. Back then, it was like the first game I bought when after high school. A lot of shit happened in my life, so I didn't really have the fondest memories of this game. Just a lot of lonely nights up in a not so great point in time. So, what I do enjoy about the game, right? You know what? I'll give you a little backstory here, a little aside. When I have things in my life that are like a sore subject, or, I mean, for lack of better use of the word nowadays, trigger me. Like, I'm not fucking breaking down into tears or anything, it just makes me feel bad, right? I try to recontextualize those things so that they don't have a hold on me, right? So I wanted to do that with Defiance. I played this game quite a bit when my late mother, was sick. And I didn't have the best outlook on the game because of that. Jumping back into it now, running through it, getting the feel for it again, just right here in this little introduction mission, putting primaries to use, putting secondaries to use. The flow of combat isn't terrible. It's a little floaty. Then again, it's a goddamn MMO with guns, right? Mount system here, we get a little quad, so that's cool. And if you're wondering about the backstory of the game itself, it's a long time ago, aliens from a different system were facing a catastrophe on a colossal scale that was going to wipe out their entire planetary system. So envoys from each planet created the Ark system, and they found a planet that could be terraformed in the Sol system, Earth, that didn't have any, sentient life on it or anything. So they could just come here, set up shop, terraform it, get out of jail free card, right? Problem is, by the time they left their home system and by the time they got here to Earth, humanity had evolved. Shit goes sideways, the Ark ships end up scattered all across the planet's surface, some terraforming, some not. Any which way, you end up with a Borderlands-style looter-shooter MMO, which isn't terrible. It gives you unique guns and stuff like this one here that I'm using. This is a Votan light machine gun, even though each shot is like a plasma caster bolt that explodes. Right, each gun has a unique set of modifiers, which is pretty cool. This one here is a Votan blaster rifle. It shoots 3 shots, so your damage is split up into three projectiles. You can get a lot of damage downrange with them. You also have a higher ammo capacity with them. You start stacking unique modifications onto them, and you can literally vaporize your enemies with it, right? Which is cool. So, running through some of the baseline missions, I start getting sidetracked by the same stuff that always used to eat up my time back in the day. One of the large things that was a selling point for this game, give me a moment. First thing is world events like you see me doing right now. You'll just happen upon a basic mission, you know, help these people, collect medical supplies, take out these people, attacking, hold this position, which is cool. You get experience, you get new weapons, you get all sorts of stuff like that. Second thing are known as arkfalls, which I had already mentioned here, that the ark ships that the aliens came to Earth in are called arks. Well, arkfalls are when bits of those giant-ass spaceships fall to the Earth, and you go about collecting the unique resources from them. Now, I don't know if they have any of the later arkfalls in-game yet, since this game was only brought back like a couple of months ago. Or if it's just the original content before they start bringing in newer content, right?
Awesome, you made it.
You know what, I'll just let this play out.
Don't get mad, but I told Grant that
You're here. Cass says you're gonna help her get some radio communication established. If you can do that, it will allow us to get a trace on the missing passengers' rescue beacons, including your boss Von Bach.
There's a busted-up radio station not far from here. KTAM 94 FM. Played a lot of pretty cool vote and hard rock. Not your sissy shrill meat stuff.
Okay. If we can get in, I can upgrade it to run on post-arkfall wavelengths. You can then use the station as a relay point for your signal.
If I had soldiers to spare, I wouldn't be sending you. Contact me as soon as you have results.
Anyway, voice acting isn't bad. The cast and stuff, it does that weird fucking sci-fi thing where they don't actually swear. Even though I'm fairly sure sci-fi is allowed to swear, which has always been weird to me. Any which way, you have story missions, which are like episodic missions and stuff, and then you have side missions, and then you have your arkfalls, and then you have your PvP stuff, and then you have your grouped PvE stuff, which is raids and dungeons and stuff like that. But arkfalls themselves, words are hard sometimes, are just giant world events. That's what they are. Smaller arkfalls can be had, which are like hellbug extermination. Piece of an arkfall breaks off and lands, and it's like one of the agricultural fragments of power. And these these bugs come and try to take the power core and eat it. And you have to kill them off, otherwise the power core becomes too unstable and explodes and you don't get anything. The arkfall you see before you now is 99ers, right? They're humans that have augmented themselves with cybernetic technology to better help them mine. May or may not be an AI overlord tossed in the mix somewhere, but you have a whole host of enemies. You got ones that want to run up close to you. They got shields, set you on fire, DPS type shit. You got ones that shoot grenades at you to push you out of cover. You got ones that stagger the fuck out of you, and I hate those ones. I fucking hate those ones. You'll be taking aim to take a shot, and then you'll get staggered out of fucking shooting or reloading or something. It's just annoying. It's annoying. But, you know, if you can fight through it, you can see the different rarities of loot laying on the ground all over the place there. You fight through them, you can collect your loot from the enemies themselves, and once the arkfall goes off, you can start collecting weapons and stuff. Each weapon has a 3D modeling game you can, like, turn over and look at. This arkfall here is a dark matter arkfall. Dark matter is like the, it's a strange group in-game. It's like the human, I think it's the human-hating group of aliens that just wants to take over Earth. So they use nothing but Votan tech, which the aliens are from the Votan system. There's different breeds of Votans. There's like an entire race of people that are just made out of energy. There's little furry weirdos. There's people that are just we're just gonna sound just white, or like a cream colored white, called the Castathins. There's like Iridians, stuff like that. Each one has different weapons in game. Each one has different styles to the way they do things. I do believe this is a Castathin missile launcher, and it just straight up explodes into different missiles, you know, stuff like that. This arkfall right here is scrappers and hellbugs. You can get mixtures of different enemies that attack during arkfalls. Scrappers are, I do believe they're the automated systems of the arcs that have just kind of gone haywire since they, you know, fell to Earth. And they're just trying to reclaim bits and pieces of the arcs to continue their job. And if that means defending it from some random asshole that happens by, then that's what happens. Hellbugs are part of the environment from one of the planets in the Votan system. I don't know if I get any of the Volge footage in this. Any which way, there are some arkfalls later on that I specifically remember that are instanced. What that means is that little core thing in the center that kind of explodes will open up and you can go into an instanced dungeon where you fight a big boss, right? This is another world event, which is just capture the flag, capture the points, whatever you want to call it. And these aliens that we're fighting are the Volge. V-O-L-G-E, I think. These aliens were so warlike and so dangerous to their own system that the others of their system said, yeah, no, we're just not going to let these people on our arc, on any of the arcs, because fuck them. Somehow they made it onto the arcs and made it to Earth. They may or may not be the reason why the Council originally attacked Earth, so to speak. There was an entire war. Most like the West Coast is gone. Large swaths of the planet have been terraformed, and, you know, there's so much debris in the atmosphere as of this point that you can't really fly anywhere. But this right here is one of the neat things that I always liked about Defiance, even back in the day. If you happen upon a world event that you are too low level for, it just ups your level for you, so you can take part in it. Simple as that, right? You'll see the big yellow 3250 where my level modifier is. It's like your gear score for any other MMO. That's all that is. So gear score's been upped, I do more damage and stuff. It is kind of misleading because if you pick up a weapon during one of these things and you look at its stats, it's going to do like twice the amount of damage than you think it would because you've been artificially buffed, right? But at the end of the day there, it's hold off waves of these enemies, which they all have shields and stuff, which are a little annoying until you realize if you burn through the shields on the enemies, which there's like 2 different styles of shielding, it's weird. You can usually melt the enemy fairly quickly. The only ones that really piss me off are the like grenadier style ones. If you see everything exploding all the time, that's what's doing it. Those. Because they just sit back at a fucking distance and just pepper you with at least a dozen explosives each fucking time. Right? One of the unique things I just tossed out there is they call them spikes, right? What the spike I just tossed out does is up your damage. If you're standing in the area of effect of the spike, your damage is upped. Simple as that. Along with that, you have unique abilities. They're called ego boosts. It's a specialized type of cybernetic tech that may or may not be based off of the aliens tech. Dependent on what skill you have equipped, you can do one of a few things. The one I'm using right here, I think, is Cloak. Yeah, the one I'm using here is Cloak. Turns you invisible. You can run around enemies and stuff. They won't see you. There's Blur, which gives you a super sprint. There's Overclock. I think it's Overclock. It's either Overclock or Overcharge. One of the two. Which just ups damage. And then there's a 4th one that I forget the name of because I never use it. One of the best things you can do is Overcharge, Damage Spike, and then just put all of your passives into upping the duration of the amount of damage you can output. Your third special ability, you just saw my guy shove a stim pack into his neck there, is literally just that. You can either use a stim to heal yourself, to give you more armor, to fix your damaged armor plating, to like up the amount of damage and stuff you do, stuff like that. By the by, you always want something that can heal you, especially since your shield is considered part of your health. Even though this works off of Halo rules, where your shield goes down, you gotta wait for it to recharge. Normal damage you take is kind of gone in the meantime, unless you get one fucking shotted like that, which is just always fun. So, getting downed, right? You have a rechargeable self-revive. Recharges after a set amount of time or a set amount of damage that you output. You can even get passives that down the amount of time it takes. You can see the one person next to me there using overclock, overcharge, whatever you want to call it. And the one that ran into res me was using blur. Any which way, your passives and stuff have a much larger impact than you would think in most of these things. Like, I know quite a few MMOs, it's like, oh yeah, sure, you get like 1% damage increase or whatever. Passives in this is like, okay, well, you have overclock as an ability. Okay, well, this extends the duration of overclock by 4 seconds. And you can take 4 ranks in it. Oh, do you also want another passive that drops the cooldown rate of overcharge? Sure, we can do that too. For every kill, why not? You want a passive that extends your special ability for however many kills you get? Go for it, right? So that's always neat. What I decided to try to see if this was exactly the fucking same, because I know quite a few things that are brought back from the dead game-wise aren't always exactly the same. Right here. Fucking orange charger, right? They had this weird brand deal going on with Dodge back in the day, where the show would use Dodge vehicles, and the game also brought Dodge vehicles into it. And this was the earliest one you could get, and it was from a secret vendor, right? What you had to do was you had to go there to that one point, clear out all of the enemies there in an unmarked quest, and once you do, the vendor comes out for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then goes back into their shop, and then you got to do the whole thing all over again, right? So that's pretty cool that they kept that standard. And if you're wondering about like classes and whatnot, classes and stuff in Defiance were not brought in until Defiance 2050. Beyond that, you could use any weapon, any class, any abilities, any style, you know, whatever. You're pretty much just picking your initial loadout when you choose like a class in the beginning of the game. One of the big things that I love, that one guy right there is using it. The weird electrical gun. That's your heal kit. That's your heal kit right there. You run around, you can like lay down very basic damage per second with that thing, or you can heal your allies with it. It also daisy chains both on enemies and on allies, which is pretty cool. If you go through and buff all your skills just for that alone, you could pretty much keep an entire team of people in the fight with that, which is pretty cool. And you can always just keep it as a secondary. By this point in time, I've switched over to the overclock ability with some damage spikes, and you could lay down massive amounts of damage, especially with a Votan battle rifle like I'm using there. So it's a very unique game. I think it's held up quite well. I think the only monetization is the same stuff that was monetized when the game was new, so I don't have any issues there. By the by, I'm probably gonna play, you know, add it into the old fold here at this point, like I did the Old Republic. Jump back in, play it every couple of years for a while, see how it goes. You know, just how it is, right? Anyway, I'd like to thank Eric Hewitt, Big O, and High Marshal Sigismund for sticking around. Thanks, guys. It means a lot. If you want to become a member, too, link is down in the description, or you can just hit the join button. Either one works. We do Fallout watch-alongs over on the Patreon. Drop by the Discord. Stuff's there. Come yell at me if you want. I don't mind. Anyway, thanks for watching. I need to get this exported so I can get this uploaded, because I forgot to voice this Saturday when I edited it. It's right now technically Thursday morning, the day this goes up. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to go to bed.